it never feels. It almost feels like harmless, like a harmless racist grandpa. Like yeah,
Yeah,
he said he said a couple slurs, but he
yeah.
used it in a positive way.
You compared Bethesda's a strategy of re-releasing Skyrim to a
No,
lovable old grandpa
no,
that.
that's Resident Evil 4.
Oh,
Bethesda
okay,
is a
so
straight
Resident
up
Evil.
racist grandpa.
Okay, here we go.
Like
Skyrim is, hey, I don't want them moving into my neighborhood,
I don't want those
and
people.
moving into my neighborhood. And Resident Evil 4 is that colored couple is lovely. That's
Yes,
it's fantastic.
Essentially.
That's
Yeah.
how it feels.
Yeah. Hello and welcome to level 90 of the Thoughts and Players podcast, the gaming podcast with all takes and no strings attached. I am Jeremy, here with my two compadres. Of course, I have David.
What up?
And I have Corey.
Hello, men.
Hello.
And
That sounds weird. Hello, boys. Hello, guys.
Yeah,
Hello,
yeah.
man. I don't like that.
You want to restart
From
that?
the top.
Okay. And I have Corey.
Hi, guys.
Hello. How's it going?
Good.
Sup,
It's going
dude?
good.
Good.
We got the sick. We got the tired. We got
Some of them are the same person.
right.
We're making it work. We're this are all symptoms of being well into the winter season.
Yes.
And so, we're doing what we can. Making it work. We want to welcome all of you, ladies, gentlemen, chicken ducks and hens, going into this level of the pod, level 90. We're back on a zero interval. The next zero interval will be 100, and we don't know what we're going to do, but that's obviously a big number. We'll figure out something. Hopefully, you guys have been checked out level 89. A lot of good stuff there. We also had to put out a video on our YouTube about the top 5 strategy games we're looking forward to. Check that out if you're a strategy game enthusiast. Let us know what you think. Thank you, and let us know what you think about that. But yeah, this is the conversation pod. We're gonna jump into some conversation about games. So, gentlemen, let's talk about. We're gonna start with what games we've been playing.
Okay. Let's do it.
Let's do it. If anyone wants to jump in first, they can. Otherwise, I'll take point on this again.
Go ahead. Take point. I think that's fair.
Okay. I'll make it brief. So I would say that what I've been playing. Well, let's start with what I'm not playing, and that's Final Fantasy 16 because I completed it.
Yeah.
Let's go.
30-something hour campaign. Rarely do I complete games that long. I did check my log while I was on my PS5, and I discovered that I actually had put 60 hours into Ghost of Tsushima, and it did not feel like that at all. Yeah. But yes, I've put half that into Final Fantasy 16 to beat it. Overall, great journey.
Wow.
It was a great journey.
Did it feel
great
that long?
Story? Did it towards the end? I was telling my girlfriend that I felt like there was maybe a few hours that could have been shaved off. Again, I think I feel like I say that with a lot of games, but I'm trying to think about it from like just how it feels with gameplay, with story, and the pacing of all that. And it feels like towards the end, there feels like a lot of successive boss battles that draws it out a little bit. I would have been cool with a couple hours shorter, but otherwise I'm fine with the runtime. I also think just for me, I mean, the spoiler alerts on a little bit with this, with all the boss battles. I think Corey, I've kind of talked to you before, a little bit about this before. The man, I'm trying to think. I can't remember his name right now, but what is it? The giant?
Oh, Titan.
The Titan fight is such a highlight for me.
That was your peak. That was your peak of the game?
That was my peak, yeah. So the Bahamut fight and the Odin fight, those were okay, but the Titan fight felt great. I was a little bit taken away, and I understand this. The story of the world is a little bit over the top, but at one point, we either both fights or one of the other one, you end up in space, and I'm like, what are we doing in space? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Awesome.
Like, we're in space, but yeah. So So I beat that, done with that.
All right, Fast and the Furious, you know.
It felt a little bit, but hey, just like the Fast and the Furious, they're all family. So yeah, I got done playing that, and then what I have been playing, I've been playing some old games. I've done a little PlayStation 2 emulation on my PC, and I've been playing 3 games. Dynasty Warriors 5.
Wow, so close.
Which I got to play some more of. Not really a big fan of.
No.
I've been playing College Hoops 2K8. They don't make college basketball games anymore, so that's great.
You have a good game on your hands. It's very hard to get college games.
Yeah.
Even the old ones, it's not easy to like pick them up. So
right.
Oh, you emulate it, you said, right?
Yeah, I'm emulate, but I have
Right.
NCAA football 14 for the 360, which like if you try to buy it now, it's $40-$50.
Right.
But then speaking of that, lastly on the emulation, I have Madden 2005. And so I have those 3 games. I've been trying out all those games, having a blast with them, and then that's mostly what I've been playing. I played a little bit of, I think I talked before, we get the little Disney Sega collection with Aladdin and the Lion King and the Jungle Book. So I've been trying to go back and play the Lion King. Still hate it, right? The ostrich ride, level 2. It's level 2. And I just hate it with a passion. So I've been trying that, but that's pretty much all I've been playing. A lot of old school stuff. I beat the newness, decided to go back to the oldness.
I think that's fair. I think that's a recommendation that you gave, right?
Perhaps, yeah.
David's recommendation was just keep playing the same game over and over. Like you beat it, you replay it. You beat it, you replay it. Endless cycle.
Yeah. Good game, man. That's what
right. Yeah, true. Okay, yeah, no, that's cool, man. That's cool.
You want to go?
Is that all? Yeah, sure. Man, let me tell you, the month of December is a very busy month. So it's been really hard to play the games that I currently have on my system. Super Mario RPG. I think I'm close to the end, and I really do want to beat that one probably next. Alan Wake 2 from my last update, which feels like it's been a month ago. I did get a few more chapters in, and the story really seems like it does carry that game where it's like very interesting, very intriguing. But the thing I kind of want to talk about is Jeremy had a birthday. Our fearless leader had a 9th birthday party.
Mm-hmm.
It was fun. It was fun. I got to stay there a couple hours. We played games there. It was all game themed, and that was awesome. I got to play Turtles, the Shredder's Revenge, which I had played earlier when it came out, but playing it with a 3-person team, a lot of fun.
Yeah,
a lot of fun. I want to say the significant others, my wife and your girlfriend, I kicked both their butts. Like they do a little thing at the end, who had the most kills. Yeah. I mean, I doubled them up.
It's very interesting you say, because it is by nature a co-op game. So it's interesting that you took the advantage of I kicked both their butts in regards to I got more kills than them, but it is a co-op game. We are all in a mutual effort to defeat the enemy.
I think that shows my mindset a little bit. Even in a co-op game, I want to be the best. So
and a team, but I did the best.
Exactly. Speaking of being the best, me and Jeremy went on a little bit of Rocket League Online duos, and we won the 2 or 3 matches that we played.
Yeah,
I think Jeremy even managed to score a goal. That was awesome.
Yeah,
it was a good time. It was a fun time, man. You have an amazing setup in your basement. I think there's 5 different stations to play. Is that like your normal setup at all times?
It's usually not. The TV that had the Dreamcast and the mini Sega Genesis on it, that's usually not there.
Okay.
But that was the other setups typically are. Typically the one has the PS5, the other one has the Xbox Series X.
Yeah, awesome setup down there, man. Looks incredible. Your girlfriend, super nice. I don't know if she wants her name on this podcast, but she's always super nice. Great host, just super friendly. Your family's great. Really fun time being there. And that was like the most games I got to play in like the last 2 weeks was that. Like that. Got to play a little bit of old school Sega.
Yeah, don't forget. You got to do a little bit of Crazy Taxi, right?
Crazy Taxi. Man. Oh man, we're gonna talk about Crazy Taxi a little bit later, but man, it felt so good to jump back into that game after years and years. So, I got to enjoy Jeremy's game systems, and it was fun.
Yeah. We mostly played when my partner and I showed up the Sega Dreamcast. We ended up
Okay.
playing like Monster World 4 or something like that. It was on the Sega, and we played for quite a while. We kept dying, but kept figuring out what to do. There was blew my mind. There was saving on that game. I didn't know there was save points on Sega.
Yeah.
Wait, what did you play? You said the Dreamcast, or did you play the Sega Genesis?
We played both, but we were mostly playing the Sega one. But it was an RPG on the Sega. It was like a 10-hour long game with save points.
Yeah, on the Genesis. That might have been added, the little mini. They might have added that save.
Okay.
Maybe. Right?
I never played it originally.
Yeah.
Sometimes
okay, yeah.
That where you can do save states and stuff on there.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Got it. That was fun. Usual gaming. I've been playing a lot of TFT lately, and I'm not sure why, but it's been really fun this season. So what I really like about TFT is every season, everything completely changes. Never seen that before. Like all the characters either get changed to a different kind of team or they get taken out completely. New characters get put in. The new team formats or whatever. Like this season is all about like music. So there's like a country team and an emo team, a punk team, and there's other stuff, like bruisers and whatever usual stuff. And I think that's really cool. So this season's been really fun, and I think that's why I've been playing so much. And then we got the usual too, because I have problems. I hate myself. Like every time I sit down at this computer, I'm like, let's play some Alan Wake because that was fun. I want to continue. I don't. I just don't.
The thing is, man, it's just so easy to jump into what you know. It's just so
is. It's upsetting.
Like, I don't feel like getting involved in this like story heavy game where I'm gonna have to like figure stuff out. It's just so easy. Like,
I only have an hour, so I'm just gonna play this.
Yeah, I can knock out a few games. Yeah, I totally understand for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I've been playing.
Nice. Awesome. Well, we talked about what we're playing. I guess we're gonna move into the topics on the top of our mind that we had. Now, I don't know. I think we were saying before, David, were you going to start with your topic here?
Yeah, we can start with mine.
All right.
So I don't know if you guys heard, and the audience, if you guys heard, Sega was like, hey, you know what would be a good idea to bring back old IPs? All right. So they confirmed some already, but this isn't the only ones that they plan on working on. They have Jet Set Radio, Crazy Taxi, Golden Axe, Shinobi, and Streets of Rage. All confirmed to be getting new games. And I think that's really cool. So what I want to talk about is what IPs do you guys want to see come back? It doesn't have to be just Sega. It can be from any kind of company.
Ooh, what kind of IPs would we like to see come back? Well, I guess maybe before I started on that, if I can just add some commentary onto what Sega talked about here.
Sure.
So these things were announced at the Game Awards, right? Were these new?
I believe so. Yes, at the Game Awards.
And so new games, I wonder, does that mean a completely new approach with how they make these games, or is this just a later iteration of like all these 2D games, essentially?
Well, yeah, that's an interesting question. I feel like for some you could definitely see that, like Shinobi looked 2D, had a beautiful art style. Like in the small snippets they showed, like I'm like instantly like attracted to that game. Like I want to get that. But something like Golden Axe, they did not try to translate the 2D action. That looked like a 3D world beat 'em up or something like that. Maybe even like an RPG, action RPG. Who knows? But they looked good, right? Like, are you pretty excited about them?
Really? I don't know. I have to see a little bit. I get it, right? Because Sega's like, hey, we've been not doing great with new IPs. What's our best new IP that's come out for a while? Who knows? But, so I understand bringing some of those old ones back and, getting a lot of fanfare for them. So I get it. But I don't know. I mean, I have a little bit of interest in Shinobi, a little bit, but I guess it'll depend, you know.
Yeah, no, I like what Sega showed. Crazy Taxi, like we had just talked about. I got to
Yeah.
play
Right.
it a little bit.
I was
And
like, this
it
is
was
really
very exciting to
convenient.
play it. It looked beautiful. They added like a police chase mechanic, which I don't know if Crazy Taxi 2 had that. I never really played that one
I
too
can't
much.
remember. Yeah.
Crazy Taxi 1 does not have that. So
Yeah.
that is like an interesting wrinkle. And yeah, Streets of Rage, I really into beat 'em ups over these last couple of years. So yeah, those looked good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But back to the question, David, what IPs would we like to see come back?
Yeah.
Yeah, does anyone have one? I'm gonna steal
Yeah.
David's.
No,
I'm
don't
gonna
you
steal
dare.
yours. I want
Don't do
Twisted
it.
Metal.
I knew it.
I
Well,
want Twisted Metal.
that's my
I want Twisted
obvious.
Metal.
Okay, because let's see. The last Twisted Metal was trash, okay? Let's not forget that. But the season of Twisted Metal that was on Peacock did really well. They announced that
Mhm.
season 2 is coming eventually, and I think that's really cool. And I think now is a good time, more than ever, Sony, to get another one of these games out. But not obvious choice. I really loved the game Ristar on the Sega. I don't remember if I ever beat it, but I did get, a few levels into it, at least, 5, 6. And amazing game. It was just like Mario and Sonic back then, just a 2D platformer, save the world. It was a lot of fun. A lot of good music. I don't remember if the ending made a possible for continuation, but I think that would be a good one.
Yeah, those are good picks. How long ago does the IP have to be for us to like say we want it back?
Um, I don't know, 8 years, just kind of like it doesn't have to be that far back, but
How
like
about you? How about you give me 3 years, okay? Because we talked about this game throughout the life of the podcast. Jeremy, when's the Ghost of Tsushima 2? Like they're gonna announce that, right?
okay, totally
like,
fair.
like they're
Yeah.
like obviously they're working on it, but I'm ready for them to
Yeah.
announce it. I want that IP.
They will.
Which
Whatchamacallit,
is a complete cheat.
Rise of Ronin looks like it might fill
Scratch
that
that.
niche a little bit.
Yeah, but I
A
need my boy
little.
Jin Sakai. I need
I
Jin
understand.
Sakai.
Do you
Yeah, I
think Ghost
understand.
2 is gonna come out before Jeremy gets his statue?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
And then they will say, "Hey, for $20 more, you can get both statues. You can get 2 statues." And I'll say,
right.
"Nope, can't fool me. You can't fool me again." Yeah. Yeah, I'm obviously all down for a Ghost too. As far as something like that goes, sticking on that kind of theme of the world, I would love if they didn't bring it back as a remake, as some kind of new iteration of a Jade Empire, because it
Yeah.
feels like, like all the different. I mean, the stances were basically the different magical stances or whatever you could have in that game between like a fire and a water and leaf, whatever the other ones were. I would love to have something like that happen, because that game is great. It's BioWare at its best in some respects, and it's been long enough. And if you play it now in any kind of iteration that's available, it kind of blows. So they got to update it. They got to bring it back some way.
Yeah, there's a lot of them. I don't want to keep picking newer ones, but I'll pick an older one like Banjo Kazooie. I've been waiting for it.
Oh, dude,
I wasn't
that's
even
a good one.
I wasn't even a huge fan of like the original 2 Banjo Kazooies as much as like a lot of people, but like the fever is there. It's like every show I'm kind of expecting it, and now I'm like a super fan of like wanting it to be announced. And I think they've made a little bit of a comeback in terms of that kind of gameplay, the collectathons and kind of like, like the peppy little like mascot platformers. But I still think there's a hole that needs to be filled, and Banjo and Kazooie can fill it, and it would do, I think, decently well for Xbox. I feel like they do okay when they make those types of games in terms of like just like Viva Pinata. That was not exactly up their wheelhouse, and it was a fun game, and that was made by Rare. And I wouldn't mind Banjo Kazooie making a full comeback.
Yeah, I really loved the first one. I didn't play the second one too much, but like Banjo was even in one of those kind of like fighting or racing games not too long ago.
Mm.
So it's not like he's completely irrelevant. But yeah, that's I like that one. I have another one.
Yeah.
Probably another obvious, but like
F-Zero.
F-Zero, it did just come out with the F-Zero 99, which is
I
cool
think
and
that
all.
counts. I think that counts.
But like, it's not. There's no nothing. It's just.
It's fun.
I mean,
It's
yeah,
fun.
but it's not. It's the same, but it's not the same.
It's
Yeah.
better.
I need my GX. I need my multiple levels and like
Yeah.
the novice and expert cups and whatever. And oh, that'd be so cool. I'm still
I-
hoping one of these days.
I got two for you, even though I
Ooh.
just forgot one, but I got two. The one, when are we getting another Star Fox?
Please never.
Yeah.
When can I be Falco? Please never.
Why never? It's so talked about.
I mean, the last one wasn't
on-rail
great.
spaceship shooter, like it's just
Make it.
really doesn't
I mean,
have
look,
a place.
we've got so many space games that they can, like, look.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Take the Resident Evil blueprint, right? Steal from franchises that innovated, bring it into your universe, and make it a great game. You know what I'm saying? We've got all these different space games that have come out. They've got to be able to take some stuff, make it, especially when they don't have to focus on making the Wii U tablet something that's interesting. They can just focus on making it a great game.
That is true.
Yeah.
Another one that I would like, and again, it's not like super like it's irrelevant. Well, I guess Star Fox had one on the Wii U, but this one I think the last mainline game was on the 360. And they had a very, very successful anime, super successful anime. I want Castlevania to come back. I want Castlevania to just copy Dark Souls or Bloodborne.
Ooh, yeah.
Just copy it. Make it difficult. You already have the setting of Dracula's castle and the grounds, and you can make Dracula's castle have all these secret tunnels and things that connect back and shortcuts that would work perfect. They have crazy amount of enemy variety, a crazy amount of just different weapons and special skills, and it would, under the right developer, obviously not under Konami now, but under the right developer, if they just kind of shipped it out to someone, you could make a really, really amazing Souls-like game from that formula. And I think they should. It would be perfect, and I would love it. I'm a fan of some of the 2D Castlevanias, and like I said, love the anime. It really does deserve a comeback.
I said that's a good option because it has a lot of background already.
Yeah, it's perfect. Yeah,
easy to just pick and choose what you're coming from.
It'd also be a game with that Souls formula. I think this is one thing with the Souls formula that kind of works. You don't need AAA big teams to make Souls games, right? And I think something like Eliza P is an example of that. Not to say it's a small team, but you don't need, gargantuan teams to build something like that. You put it in a concentrated, more condensed setting. You give yourself an 8-10 hour experience where you're soulsing through castle, because even Souls games like that, they always have so much replayability because people try to speed run them and break them and different stuff like that. Yeah, I think it'd be a home run probably.
I'd like to see it, and it's never a better time than it is now with the success of the show, and they just did another new series, like a continuation. So that's another one I would like.
Very nice.
Good one.
Very nice. Is there any other old IPs we're thinking bring back for another gust?
Is there any continuation of Control?
Yes. Alan Wake 2.
I mean,
narratively, Alan Wake 2.
Yeah, they're all connected.
Like, specifically, that story-wise, I guess just waiting for another Control, which I don't know if it's happened or not.
That came out in 2019. It's way too soon to be asking for a sequel, okay?
No way it did.
2019.
Yeah.
Really?
Same year as Ghost of Tsushima.
Yeah.
Wait, was that Ghost of Tsushima or was that 21?
Tsushima was 20, I thought.
Oh, you guys talked about it like it was an older game because I played it on Game Pass.
Yeah,
here's at the time. Remedy games felt a little old at the time. They don't now.
Okay.
Because people are getting into the way they tell their stories, it's 2019. I think sounds right for Control.
David, I don't know if you know me, but like Armored Core 6 and Baldur's Gate 3 are older games now for me. Like they're months old, and those are older games to me. Like,
That is true.
Those old games.
You have problems.
That is true. He totally forgot that Hogwarts Legacy even existed. And he was, and at one point earlier this year when he came out, he was like, "This is the game I've been waiting my whole life for." He's forgot about the game he waited his whole life for.
I waited. I got it.
Yeah.
You should hold things to that kind of like standard. All right, they never live up to it.
Well,
100%.
You're upset. You just got tricked into playing Hufflepuff.
As someone who was disappointed, you did, didn't you? Someone who's disappointed by Starfield and City Skylines too. Sometimes stuff ain't worth the wait.
That sucks. That sucks. That does suck.
I guess that's it for our first topic, though. We're moving on to topic number 2.
All right, I'll take over then, gentlemen. All right, so David, you brought up a good point with like, what IPs would you like to see come back? And Sega bringing these IPs back, and before you even thought of this topic, I think I thought of this like a few weeks ago. It was just a question that popped up to my head, and I thought it'd be a good PvP, but we're a little ways away from a PvP episode, so I'm gonna ask it here. And this would you rather is, would you rather there only be sequels made or only be brand new IPs made? You can't have one or the other. Either every game that comes out from now on is a sequel to something, or everything is brand new.
Oh, okay. I feel like this is pretty obvious for me, is that I want everything to be brand new. I just want there to be a new story every single time. Different characters, different world. They have to work at it. To me, the benefit, to me, it makes more sense in some respects why some games are longer than, especially if because if you're planning on making a series of games, don't come in here with the first game being 40, 50 hours. You're going to make more of these. I'm going to be stuck with these people even longer. Keep it nice and short and brief, right? And I stay saying long enough to where I know you, but I miss you. But if it's just new, then yeah, you can make these longer games, because this is the only way I'm gonna get to live in this world. If they only make one Elder Scrolls ever, that's the only way I'm gonna live in that world, right? Now, when you're saying only new ones, that means that they can't do any re-releases. So in this world,
they can't work off of any existing IPs.
Right.
So like, no more Elder Scrolls, no more Fallouts, no more Star Wars games. They have to only do original every single time from now on.
Right. Yeah.
See,
I prefer that.
It's good that you asked now, because I have to agree with him.
Really?
Yeah, because like he was saying, if sequels and stuff like didn't exist, they're gonna give us this game that is, 60, 70, maybe 100 hours long, because that is the only time we're going to be in that world. If like The Last of Us Part 1 and 2 was just one part, that's a freaking 60, 50-hour game, depending how good you are. But I would have loved it. And there's not these parts, but like new stories, new mechanics, new this, that, and the other. I think that would be the way to go.
I'm pretty surprised. I'm definitely like all about the sequels. I don't want to lose the stuff. I already like the stuff that's out. So in my mind, I'm like, just keep making more of it. And all that these new IPs are doing are kind of like scuffing up like all these other games that could potentially be out, for my favorite franchises already. Like, you're talking about never getting another Resident Evil.
I know.
Right.
Like,
but here's the thing though, right? I feel like you get okay, I'm just use this analogy, right?
Okay.
I feel like you get a bigger high off the new crack than the same crack.
Drug references always fly.
And what I mean by that is like, I mean, I have a more memorable experience with Ghost of Tsushima than I have for like sequels of other games that I also love. Right. And that's partly because that game, that experience, that world is new to me. Now, that doesn't mean that, and this is just a game. So mechanically, games can be very similar. And there may be like a gameplay loop that I like in one that another one translates, but I'm getting a completely new story, a new narrative. And that may connect with me more than just kind of like, I'm getting the same thing, over and over again. there is. I was thinking about as you're asking this. There is a perspective of that sequels can tell stories, different stories in the same world, and be like loosely connected to the prior one. So I think of something like Final Fantasy, where it's like narratively it doesn't really feel like a sequel, but
well, those definitely aren't like narrative. Yeah, they're not not narratively at all. But like something like Resident Evil, it's telling a decades long story. No matter how long you make your game, you can't do that. Like a company still has to release a game in like a timely manner. They can't, like your example of The Last of Us 1 and 2. Like even in my scenario, like I don't think they would have been able to make that because you can't spend 15 years working on one game unless you're Rockstar. Rockstar, but like Naughty Dog couldn't have waited that long to get both those stories together. I don't know. I thought in my mind this was like a pretty like cut and dry, like, okay, yeah, everyone's gonna say sequels, of course, but I've asked you two, I asked my buddy. It was all brand new IPs, and I don't know. We have so much. We have so much. Even IPs that haven't been used in a long time, they can be resurfaced and reimagined to something good. You know,
I definitely agree.
I would also say consider the times. You're asking us this as well. I can speak for myself, where I'm Marveled out, I'm DC'd out, I'm Star Wars'd out. I just want new ideas.
Right.
And it feels like, I mean, all these different things that are sequels that are great, they started as new ideas. So
that's fair.
You know, it's
I think I really got the question from watching the Game Awards, and like every time there was a trailer for a game that I already knew, I was excited. And every time I got a new trailer for a game I didn't know about, I was like, oh, what's this the game of? Oh, something blah blah blah. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like I'm not excited because it's not something I already know. So
yes, I think that's
you went in with a bias.
Like, perhaps
it was
an implicit bias.
Yeah.
Yes, and perhaps. I think it's also just possibly the trauma of being a gamer nowadays, where you get duped all the time.
Yeah.
Well, matter of fact, like, my topic is going to talk about a dupe, but you get duped all the time. So
there was a game that was just released, and the company's already like going away or whatever. And
correct.
That's Jesus.
I don't trust that company.
So like, it's both, but not like Titanfall. I loved Titanfall, many hours into it. Titanfall 2, just as many hours into it. Apex, twice as both of those combined into that.
They could have made
the same. It's the same story, but it's a completely different game. You know, I'm kind of glad Apex came out. Would I play a Titanfall 3? For sure.
But I mean, if it's the conundrum of Apex or Titanfall 3, I absolutely hate Apex.
Oh yeah.
Apex took my Titanfall 3. I hate it. Yeah. But I guess we can move on to final topic, because you both kind of alluded to it, and it's setting up my question in my topic. So recently there has been a firestorm about a scam game. It's a scam game. The developers don't want you to call it a scam game, but it's a scam game. This game is called The Day Before. Now, they released trailers a couple years ago. I think it was a couple years ago. You watch it, you're blown away. This thing basically looks like, honestly, it looks like The Division mixed with The Last of Us mixed with State of Decay. That's, if you had to describe what it was in this trailer and everything, that's what it looked like. It looked like it was going to be completely awesome, but there wasn't a lot to it. It was at one point, I think up until launch, the most, or one of the top 3 most wish-listed games on Steam. People wanted this game. It comes out and it's a disaster. Things don't work. The game looks terrible. There's barely any zombies in the land. You know, the shooting and all that stuff. It's all just bad. 4 days after the game releases, the developer, studio titled Fantastic. This is great. They close. They have to close 4 days after their game launches. It's an MMO. their game launches. Steam player counts take a tank. Refunds happening left and right. They close. They're financially ruined. Just a disaster. And not long after this, while this was going on, secretly, I've mentioned before the kind of cluster or kerfuffle that's been happening with Creative Assemblies in the Total War series. They recently issued an apology to players. They reduced the price of the game from, I believe, $60 to $40, and they provided partial refunds. And they're saying that the next paid DLC is going to be offered free, as they try to make and save face, I guess is the expression, and make up for what have been absolutely horrible decisions. So bad developers have been in the spotlight recently, and they have done things that have made people not trust them anymore. Especially Fantastic, you can't not trust them because they don't exist anymore. My question for you guys is, who is the developer or the publisher that you no longer trust, and what did they do that made you mistrust them or no longer trust them?
It's a very good question.
Now, if you guys need a moment, I can give you mine right off the bat.
Sure.
Because it's breaking my heart.
Okay.
That developer, and it's all recent and it's tied to the Game Awards. That developer for me is Hello Games. Because at the Game Awards, Sean Murray got back up on that stage with Jeff Keighley and talked about their new game, which I believe is called like No Lit Fire or No Light Fire or something like that, which is supposed to be a real, authentic open world RPG with procedural generated terrain, with mountains that can go up for miles and different ways to traverse and all these different things. And he said it's our most ambitious game yet, because we want to put all the ambition we put into creating this universe into a planet and make it authentically as big and as real as it can possibly be. And I thought to myself, Sean Murray, you lied to me. And I don't know if you're lying to me right now, but I'm going to find out. Also, I'm kind of interested, but I don't want to be interested because I don't trust you. Okay. You lost my trust. So that's an example right there. They have this new game that seems like it'd be right up my alley. It seems like it could possibly be Valheim on steroids. And I don't trust it because this developer got me before with their last game.
That's a great pick. That's a really good pick. Now, they didn't have as much time as like other developers or publishers to build the trust. You kind of just went with their word, and then you immediately found out they lied when the game came out. So it's not like they betrayed you after multiple like good games, and then it's like, oh, now they're just liars. So
right.
But still a really, really great pick because they were very scummy.
Yeah.
I got a couple. I'll go one and I'll let David do his, and I'll come back to my other one. But one that's like, so when I was a very young gamer, I had a favorite franchise, right? Like I'm talking about before Halo was my favorite franchise, before whatever my favorite franchise is now, blah, blah, blah. My favorite first franchise was probably Sonic the Hedgehog. I was a Sega kid, loved Sonic 2, Sonic 3, original Sonic. That went up to the Dreamcast where I loved Sonic Adventure 1 and 2. And then after that, I lost all faith in the Sonic team. So it's the Sonic team for me where they just I forget what game it was that I bought, but maybe like Sonic and the Seven Rings.
Okay.
Felt very mediocre. And then as their games came out, they just got very mediocre scores. And it was a franchise that I loved. I loved Sonic Adventure 2, and that's the last one that I fully played and completed. And then it was just, I could not trust them. They kept putting out mediocre games that I didn't want to waste my money on, especially when I was younger because I didn't really have money.
Yeah.
And it continues to this day where it seems like they're putting out a little bit better games. Sonic Forces seemed like it was like a much higher quality than they'd put in the past. I haven't bought that, even though I'm a fan of Sonic. And then their latest one, Sonic Superstars, was a return to form with 2D Sonic. Got pretty good ratings. I haven't bought it. I don't trust the Sonic team. And the one Sonic game that I have bought was Sonic Mania, who was not made by the Sonic team. It was made by developers, Christian Whitehead, I believe his name is, who was doing like the iOS Sonic games that were really good. So I don't
Right.
trust the Sonic team, and that's unfortunate because I really used to love Sonic back in the day.
Yeah. Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah, when they made that werewolf one, I was like, what are they running out of ideas or what's going on here? Yeah, I think Sonic Adventure 2 was the last one I played as well.
I think there was a couple good ones in between there, like the Sonic. What was the one where they kind of used like skinny Sonic and chubby Sonic at the same time, and they kind of mixed 3D and 2D games,
Don't even know.
and they
I don't
remixed
know.
levels. It came out on the 360. That one got pretty good ratings, but I
Yeah.
don't know. I can't trust them.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
fair.
it's fair. 100% fair.
You got
Um,
anybody, David?
Yeah, so mine's gonna sound like a list of things I do throughout the day, but it's not. It is a developer.
Okay.
It's eat, sleep, and play.
Ah,
Okay.
They made the last Twisted Metal. They're the ones that hurt my soul.
Yeah.
Uh, they also made Twisted Metal Head On, which I did not play, so I do not know if they were good and then bad. But I just you've over the years so far, you guys heard me talk about how bad that last Twisted Metal is. Corey, you said you played it and you understand. Like I don't know why they took a very good thing that they had. They had this process that just boom, good game after good game, and then they give us this. So
Yeah.
like if they ever do come back, I hope it's not them that make it.
let's hope.
You know? I
That's all you
don't
can do. That's all you can do.
yeah,
Yeah.
it makes me sad.
I feel you. Corey, you said you had another one.
I think I got 3 now.
Do you think you have 3?
Wow.
I think I had 3.
I,
Yeah,
I have one more. I don't know if
All
it'll
right,
be
go
in
ahead.
your
Go ahead.
3. The other developer, we'll have to wait and see. I just mentioned one of their games earlier. That developer's BioWare. BioWare,
Oh my gosh. Good pick.
BioWare Anthem is a disaster. You weren't doing that great coming off of Inquisition anyway, guys. Let's be honest. Inquisition is okay. Dragon Age Inquisition is okay, but it's not a world beater. And you have that. You've then followed that up with Mass Effect Andromeda, which again was less okay, and then you go from that to Anthem, which was just a complete. It was a bamboozling. It was a ruse, as they would call it back in the day. All right, that's BioWare is 1920s rusing. That's what they are. Okay, and after that, I can't trust you again. You're working on another Dragon Age or another Dragon Age. That's been in the works in forever. I haven't seen or heard anything about that. Or maybe you're re-looking at Mass Effect. Who knows what that's going to look and be like, right?
Right.
I mean, I'm assuming it will be better than Starfield, but we don't know for sure, right? So, yeah, that's another one that's completely lost my trust.
I mean,
BioWare.
That's such a good pick because they literally went from making an amazing trilogy, like an amazing trilogy, to Dragon Age Inquisition, which just felt lifeless and boring to me personally. I felt it was lifeless and boring, and then Mass Effect Andromeda, which was not well received at all, and I just never even bought it. And then Anthem, never bought that. It's like, man, I could have counted BioWare as one of my favorite developers back then,
100%,
like, by far,
100%.
And to lose it all just that quickly, oh my god. Yeah, great pick.
Yeah.
And I added another one, so I got 4. I think. All right, so let's list these off. Let's list these off real quick. The biggest one for me right now is Game Freak, who is actively, they've already lost my trust, but I'm still a sucker and I'm buying their games, and I hope to break that trend eventually. Hopefully the next game that they put out. But they suckered me in I keep thinking they're going to make changes that benefit the game, and they just never do. I think they're going to put love and care into their games, and they just never do.
No.
So they lost all trust. EA, but especially the people that make Madden. What's their sub?
Was it Tyburn?
Yes.
Yeah.
Used to love Madden. Bought it every year. Day of release. Sometimes I'd call off, stuff like that. Loved Madden. Haven't bought any at all.
Yeah.
Man. Ubisoft.
Maddening.
Yeah. and I know Ubisoft has a lot of like different smaller ones underneath them. It feels like mostly the Mass Effect ones that have just kind of lost my trust. The one with the French Revolution.
Oh, the Assassin's Creed ones.
Yeah, Assassin's Creed Unity.
Yeah,
very terrible after that. Even though it felt like they bounced back pretty quick after Unity. Like I think the next one was the London one.
Well, you mean bounce back as far as made something, or bounce back as far as getting trust? That took a while.
Right, like bounce back and made a decent game. Like Unity was panned.
Yeah, and then after that was Syndicate.
Right, which was pretty good, which got good reviews.
Yeah,
and then they made so that one I can't do it. And this is just counts as Ubisoft as a company. I think they lost me altogether because they put out good looking stuff. I bought Watch Dogs 3, hated it. You know, the Ghost Recons, I know some of those have kind of panned. So Ubisoft for sure. And then another big RPG maker, Bethesda has lost my trust, and that has everything to do with Fallout 76.
Yeah.
Everything, because the game before that,
I don't blame you.
Was it Fallout 4?
Mm-hmm.
Was their last big RPG before Fallout 76?
Yeah.
And then they just put out a game that's lifeless, has no NPCs. It's money hungry, and it has like a really nasty shop that's just can't do it. And once you lose me, it's like Starfield came out. I haven't even downloaded it.
Yeah.
You know, they showed me what they were with Fallout 76, and now I'm gonna skip their game. I probably will go back to Elder Scrolls, but we'll see.
Yeah. I try to tell people like with Bethesda and that whole thing, they're like, because Bethesda was like never money hungry before Fallout 76 or anything like that. Yeah, exactly. I'm like, you guys don't remember Horse Armor? They tried to charge you for Horse Armor.
They tried to charge for mods, right?
Yes.
Yeah, they
recently released an update that adds the Creation Club back into Skyrim because they took it out. So now they've done another release. They've done another release that adds it back into there. I did a little research in this. Just side note, Skyrim has been re-released 14 times.
Holy crap!
Okay, and you may be thinking, oh well, there's no that's by far like more than any other game. You would be wrong. They just beat out Resident Evil 4, which got re-released, I think, 13 times.
Yeah.
It's like, here's the deal. Every company's main goal is to make money, make
100%
wheelbarrows of money, just bucket loads of money. I think as a customer, you don't want to feel like the reason they're putting out a product is just to make money.
Right.
You don't want to feel like that.
Exactly.
And like Skyrim, for the most part, the re-releases didn't necessarily feel like that. It's what its purpose was, but it was never. I think when they put out the special edition, that was the first one that felt like it was a free upgrade on PC, and you're charging like $60 on the next gen consoles. It's like, this is kind of iffy, you know. And like same thing with like Resident Evil 4. Resident Evil 4 is re-released so much, but it never feels. It almost feels like harmless, like a harmless racist grandpa, you know, like. Yeah. He said he said a couple slurs, but he used it in a positive way, you know. Like,
right.
You know how you know how it is.
This will 100% be something that is clipped out and shared. The idea that you compared Bethesda's a strategy of re-releasing Skyrim to a lovable old grandpa.
That's Resident Evil 4.
Oh, Resident Evil
4 feels more harmless than what Bethesda does. Bethesda is a straight
Resident
up
Evil
racist grandpa.
Okay, here we go.
He will yell at his ethnic neighbors.
Yes.
You know, the grandpa, the lovable grandpa will say a slur, but in a positive way towards it. Like, no, we can't say that anymore, grandpa. Right. Oh, well, those so there you go. Explain.
Right. Yeah.
Not canceled.
100%. So 100%. Skyrim is, hey, I don't want them moving into my neighborhood.
I don't want those people
moving into my neighborhood. And Resident Evil 4 is that colored couple is lovely. That's fantastic.
Essentially,
that's how it feels.
Yeah, 100%.
And you always want to feel like, okay, hey, he's racist, but they like me, and that's what Resident Evil feels like.
He said they're lovely.
Bethesda,
Yeah.
but Bethesda doesn't feel like that anymore. They definitely feel
He's
like,
I don't want those people moving in here.
exactly.
Yeah,
You get it.
who approved
We
them
all
court
get
orders?
it. We're all on this.
We get it. Yeah, we all got it.
I didn't expect to end up here today, and I'm so glad for it.
100%. 100%.
I did find another one.
Yeah.
So I'm just it's as a whole is just Activision because of the Call of Duties, okay?
Yeah.
So back before like what it is now, they had Infinity Ward making the Modern Warfares, and they had Treyarch making the Black Ops.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you guys, played a couple of them. Modern Warfares and the Black Ops were so different from each other. There was these huge fan bases for one or the other. Me, I was a Modern Warfare fanboy. I played Black Ops 1 and 2. They were fine, whatever. Modern Warfare, that's where it was at. But like nowadays, I looked it up. I don't know if I found the correct information. Google's be Googling. But Modern Warfare 2, it said it was Infinity Ward, the one that came out last year. And this one, Modern Warfare 3, says it was Sledgehammer, which is now in the rotation for 3s instead of 2s.
Right.
And they're essentially the same game. I get they're both Modern Warfares, but like, where's the difference? A lot of people are saying Modern Warfare 3 is just Modern Warfare 2 DLC. That's a problem.
The
Like
point
Modern
of having
Warfare,
different developers is to have different feeling games, I would assume.
yeah.
Right. Yeah.
But even then, Modern Warfare 2 felt completely different than Modern Warfare 3, the originals of Modern Warfare 2 and 3. Like, I loved Modern Warfare 2 way more than 3. I could play 3, just as much, but they felt different in the same franchise within the same franchise. This is kind of like ridiculous. I tried with the Modern Warfare 2. I'm like, you know what? This was my game. It's coming back. It didn't. And it's upsetting because like actually this weekend up until the 18th, Modern Warfare 3 is free weekend gameplay or whatever.
Yeah.
And I thought about it for like half a second. I'm like, you know what? No, I'm sticking to my guns. I told them they ain't getting any more of my time. I don't care if it's free.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah, 100%.
And I don't know if anyone has any more picks at all.
I don't
think I do.
Okay, so just to cap off this, I think when we lose trust in the developer, I think a lot of times what happens is we find a different developer to kind of have faith in.
Yes.
And you kind of do get rewarded for that for some people. Like if you were a fan of CD Projekt Red, even though they had kind of a fumble with Cyberpunk, they stuck with it and they turned it into an excellent game. So there's always new developers to kind of step in and be like, hey, you can trust us. Like Larian Studios seems 100% like that type. If you're a fan of those types of games, like you're rewarded by trusting that company and just kind of going along with the ride with them. So there will always be companies to trust, and these companies need to regain trust if they want to kind of make the profits that they have been making.
100%. Yeah. They do an about face like Creative Assembly is doing right now.
Right.
And I know it's kind of hard to determine when a company lets you down, but like Cyberpunk, like you could tell that it wasn't really the devs' fault that it was a letdown for us. It was the push for it to be released, and they just didn't. They're like, hey, it's not ready, but they pushed it out anyways. Had all these bad reviews, but now, as you guys saw, it's
at the end of the day,
game.
though, it is still a lot their fault. It is still the developer's fault. And it was nice that their fans that they did hold them accountable.
Agreed.
Like because you got to have a fan base like that won't. Jeremy says that I don't, but sports gamers are the dumbest gamers on the planet. Do they hold their companies accountable? It doesn't seem like it.
No.
But
that's one of the reasons they're dumb.
Yeah, I know. But CD Projekt Red people were like, man, this sucks. This. We got to get this fixed. And CD Projekt Red's like, we totally understand. We guys want to make you happy. And so it was a collaborative effort by the fans and the developers. And David, you're probably 100% right. Publisher is what kind of pushed them to release it because they did.
It was being pushed. The date was pushed back enough times,
Yeah.
Right.
They want their money.
But like that game and like Hello Games No Man's Sky, if you can redeem it, you can makes you can win all those people back. You can
Yeah.
win back trust, right?
Yeah.
And you can, and maybe even garner more trust. I feel like people maybe have more trust with CD Projekt Red going forward to the next Witcher than they would have if they just would have said, you know what, this is landed as a dud. Let's just try to make it work as best we can and just get going to the next game.
100%. Like No Man's Sky. If it would have released a good game out the gate and a terrible game, it probably would have just been something people didn't think about. But we're still talking about No Man's
so
Sky
much more trust with
and
Sean
have,
Murray
like, this.
standing up there talking about this brand new game he's going to try to sling to us. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well, is it for the topics? Want to do a game? The game time?
Game time.
Game time.
Roll the
Plays
music.
games on here.
Alrighty. Game time. And for today's level, we are doing legally guessing.
Again? All
Yeah.
right.
We are.
Who's
It's
taking
just,
it?
it's so simple yet so complicated.
And it's so much fun.
Yes. Legally guessing. I'll be bartending this round of legally guessing.
All right.
All right. Legally guessing. For folks that don't know, we have 20 questions and a guess to try to guess the mystery game that is in my mind. So, if you guys are ready, fire away.
Was this game made by a Japanese studio?
No.
That is one out the gate.
It is. It is.
It is.
100%.
Is this game made in the 2000s, like plus 2000 plus?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes, it is.
All right. Was this game an exclusive at the time of release?
No, it was not.
Okay. Multi-platform.
Mhm.
Multi-platform. Over 2000.
Is this game
Yes.
part of a series?
Yes.
Okay. Good question. Good question.
All right. All right. What was that? Four?
All right.
Four? Question four?
Yeah.
4 questions.
okay.
Does this game feature a multiplayer?
Let me check and
Online
see.
multiplayer.
Online multiplayer?
Yeah.
I am going to say no.
Okay.
Wow.
I have no online multiplayer. So now I'm thinking it's a little bit earlier in the 2000s, but no guarantee yet.
Right. Hmm. Is this game solely on Earth, or does it transcend our atmosphere?
If
That's
you,
not
if
a
you
yes
can,
or no.
Oh, well, I mean, like,
Does it take place
is it
on
only on Earth?
yes.
Okay.
Okay, I added too much.
It's okay.
I just wanted to be specific.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, was this game made by a company in the North Americas?
Let's see here. Was this game made by? No.
Whoa.
So we're looking at a European.
So that's got to help you, Tori, because between you two, you guys are amazing with developers and publishers. Like,
If Gramps knew, he'd
Nothing.
be ticked.
Also, by the way, I'm not a PN. Said European.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right.
uh,
All right, so we got this is tough. I don't know that many European developers. We got someone like Rare, we got someone like CD Projekt Red. Ubisoft, I think, has a French division, or is that just Ubisoft Montreal? I feel like they're in Europe. Lion's Head is in England.
Ubisoft is a French company, I thought.
Okay, yeah.
I believe.
Okay.
Maybe. I think so.
Yeah, okay. So that narrowed it down quite a bit. Okay. I think we should probably try to get the year a little bit closer. Was this made before 2010?
No.
Oh.
Okay,
So
10
2010 to 23.
23.
Okay. So we're at 8 questions, I believe.
8 questions. 8 questions.
European company.
12 more.
European multi-platform company.
Right.
Rare is mostly Nintendo, right?
Well, no, at this date, it would have been Xbox.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But it was one or the other.
And Lion's Head would have been. I mean, any games that they made, I really only know them for Xbox. Playground. That's Xbox.
Yeah.
And it wasn't exclusive at the time of release.
Mm-hmm.
Is it Ubisoft? Is this a Ubisoft game?
It is not.
Okay, I'm sorry, David. I was trying to
No, that's fine. That you did a process of elimination first. Right. You weren't just like, let's start naming them.
Dang it. Okay, I really thought we could get that. Could be CD Projekt Red. They're Polish. It could be like a Chinese developer. That would be. I mean, we wouldn't get that if that was the case. Do you want to try to find the generation it came out? I mean, I guess that's still just year. We could narrow down the year some more.
Well, what are we at right now? From
2010
to 13. That is PS4 and the Xbox One for sure. Does that hit 360 and 3?
Maybe. Maybe right at the tail end.
But that's where we are though.
And I got another question. Is this game out on the Switch?
It is not.
All right, David, you got to ask a question. I feel like I'm blowing this.
Oh no, you're not blowing it at all.
I'm blowing this.
Because a lot of stuff is coming out to the Switch now, even if it is poorly.
Right. Yeah, that's what I figured.
Do you play only as a human in this game?
Yes.
That's a good question.
Yes, you do.
So it's a more realistic game.
Okay, is this game on the PS5 or Xbox Series X?
Yes.
Okay.
So that's 11?
Yeah, I think so.
That's 12.
Yeah,
that's 12. Okay.
All right, human. It's in the series.
Got 8 left.
PS5. On Xbox, PS5 and Xbox. Most likely a European company, but not Ubisoft.
It's a series. You only play as a human as a series. Who made Solid Snake? Is that on Series X?
That's a Japanese company. That's Konami.
That is Japanese. That's Konami. Okay.
Yeah.
What about?
It'd be Cyberpunk. It'd be Cyberpunk.
Well, you do only play as a human,
right?
But it's humanoid, right? Because you're different parts of things and stuff.
You'd still be considered a human.
Okay.
Is this game take place in the first person view?
No.
So not Cyberpunk.
A third person game.
Third person series game.
Do you control? Is there ever a point where you control a vehicle?
Let's see here. I am going to say no.
PS5.
What is Capcom?
Japan.
It's Japan? Okay, that's what I thought.
So put you at
Silent Hill? Is that Konami?
That's Konami.
God dang it.
European company. I mean, I'm assuming it's European. Like I said, I guess.
Right, if it's not North American or Japanese.
I really don't know what else.
Is there an Australian game company?
Probably, but nothing that I would know.
Well, it's South
It's
America.
not. It's nothing that I would know, but there's probably some. So it's on a PS5 or Xbox Series X. It's probably on both, but it might not be. It might. I said it was an exclusive. It might also be on PC. I guess I should have really said console exclusive. Let's whittle down the year just a little bit. Was this game made in the last 5 years?
Yes.
Okay, so we
Okay.
definitely know
Okay.
it's a very new game.
When did the
was that
PS5
14?
and X come out?
It's been like 3 years.
Dang, so it could be 4.
That's okay. I
and
mean, we know
1.
they're on. We know they're on the PlayStation 5.
Right, but a lot of stuff was just like, oh, it can also be played and
True.
bought on it.
It's not on the
I'm
Switch.
trying to remember how many questions you guys had. Was that the 14th one?
I think you just said 14.
Okay.
Yeah. Series game, only human, only on Earth.
Do you shoot a gun in this game?
Yes.
So it's a gunny game. It's a gunny game. No multiplayer either. We got to remember that.
Right.
It's a series.
Is the time frame that the game is in the same period that it was released in?
So present day.
I would say, hold on a second here. I would say yes.
All right. So shooting game where you're human. It's in the present day. It came out on multiple systems. In the last 5 years, part of a series. Man, I was thinking like Doom, but Doom definitely takes place not just on Earth, right? Doesn't it take place on Mars at some point?
I didn't even think it was on Earth to begin with.
I think it's on Earth. I think it's just
I
like a destroyed, decrepit Earth.
I've only played the first one.
But it's a third person game.
That is true.
No vehicles, no multiplayer. You have guns.
Mm-hmm.
What is what's the one that's like Watch Dogs? Because you said that was Ubisoft, right?
Like Watch Dogs.
Yeah, is that the one like when you're hacking stuff and whatnot?
Yeah. I mean, Ubisoft has Far Cry's.
No.
This is tough. But it's not a Ubisoft game, anyways.
Right. It's like I have a feeling this might be it. 'Cause I know it's a story game, and there's multiples of them.
Mm-hmm.
Watch Dogs might be a bad example, but I know they've came out recently. I'm just not good with these names because I don't play them.
What's it look like?
I think it looks futuristic, but it's not future. It's just now, kind of cyber like dystopian, like really fancy, like on Big Hero 6. It's
Right. Okay.
San Fran, Japan, or whatever
San Fran, Japan.
I can't remember the city that it was in, but it looked really, really futuristic, but it was now.
That sounds racist. San Fran, Japan.
Because it's a clash of a Japanese city
styles.
and
Yeah.
I thought it was like
San Francisco. San Fran, Tokyo. Thank you. That's what it was. That's what I'm trying to get at.
Do you think it could be an indie game?
I mean, what indies have series games?
Do you want to try to whittle down the years just a little bit more, like the last 3 years?
Is that going to help us?
Now let me ask a question to clarify if I'm pointing you in the right direction.
Okay.
When you said ask this game, did this game come out? Does this game take place in the same year it came out? Right? Was that one of the questions?
Yeah.
Um,
Within the 2-3 years, like is it now present?
Like, is the
present
setting
like
day?
is the setting present day? That's how
Yeah.
I interpreted that. Okay,
Right.
then yes, that's correct.
Okay. Man, I feel like we're just forgetting. I mean, do we want to find out year? I don't know if the year would really help me. Do we want to find out if it was like a super
is it
highly
gonna-
received game in terms of like ratings, like reviews?
I mean, if we knew it bombed or did well, would that help you?
Probably not.
As a small hint, I will say maybe you start looking into the years a little bit.
The years a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, okay. Did the game come out within the last 3 years?
Now I'll answer, but I want you to remember what you currently know.
We know the last
'Cause
5.
the last 5.
Okay. So the answer to that is yes.
I feel like it came out this year.
So that leaves you 4 questions.
4 questions and a guess.
Yes.
All right, so we know it definitely came out after these consoles were released.
Right.
I'm pretty sure it's Xbox and PlayStation, right?
Right.
Like he wouldn't have did an Xbox game that was also PC.
'Cause, I
So-
mean, at that point, it's just mostly Microsoft.
The years.
Do you want to ask the PC question?
You got 4. You got 4 left.
And I feel like we're just clarifying stuff here, but yeah, go ahead, David. You can ask.
Is this game PC?
No,
Yeah.
no.
No. What do you mean? Is it on PC? Is that what you wanted to ask?
No, I think I wanted to ask is it on PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X?
Got it.
Oh, okay. Yes.
Okay. Well, I should have did that to begin with. Yeah, I'm really blowing this here.
No, you're not. You're not.
3 questions.
Because I didn't want you to ask the PC one because it could have been all 3 of them, and then I still wouldn't have known.
I feel like
That's true.
just to let you know, I feel like you both are very close, and there's just one thought that needs to happen for you both to pivot in the right direction, and then you'll be right on it. You're close. I feel it.
A modern day third-person shooter in a franchise that came out within the last 3 years. I mean, it could be something like Alan Wake. You play a human. You're in a franchise. You have a gun. It's third person. I don't know if there's anything else that it. Oh man,
That is
All
a
right, so-
good observation.
all right. So we have what? 2 questions? 3 questions?
3.
3 questions.
Has this game been nominated for Game of the Year?
I believe so. Yes.
Okay. So
I could see it in his face. He was looking up for no reason.
I don't know, like, oh,
'Cause
he
he
just said
knew.
Alan Wake too. Let me just see. All right, so we have yeah, okay, so this year we had Alan Wake, Resident Evil 4, Super Mario Wonder, Zelda, Baldur's Gate. I think there was one more, or was that 6? So the only ones that would really matter.
Spider-Man 2.
Spider-Man 2, yeah. Okay. So Alan Wake 2 and Resident Evil 4 would both fit.
Right.
The last 2 years, Elden Ring won a couple years ago, or was that 3 years ago? What won last year?
I don't know.
What did win last year?
Did the game come out this year?
Are you asking me? Is this
Yeah.
one?
Did this game come out this
you
year?
have what is it? 3 or 2 questions left?
I think 2 questions and a guess.
Two
Did it come out
questions.
this year?
2 questions. Okay. Did it come out this year? Yes, it did.
Yes. Okay. It's Resident Evil
Okay.
4 or it's Alan Wake 2. Pretty sure it's Alan Wake 2 if I had to guess, but
Is
go on, David.
this game the second in the franchise?
It is.
Okay.
Take
Is
it
this
away,
game
David.
Alan Wake 2?
Ding, 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 a ding, ding. That is it. It is
Wow.
Alan Wake 2.
I feel like that was a lot harder than we made it out to be.
Yeah.
I think
100%.
so.
100%.
I blame me
What's-
being
What's
sick.
Remedy? Is Remedy like a
Remedy is finish.
They're Finnish. Wow. So that question actually like really hurt me because I had no clue what Remedy was.
Wow.
That question. Yeah, that question was not a good question for me because I'm thinking like, okay.
It would have been a good question if it was North American.
Yeah.
Or Japanese, you know?
Yeah, it would have. So,
or if you had just a fair grasp of European developers. I thought after you asked that, I thought it was maybe just another 2-3 before you guys got it. Because when you think about like European developers or whatever, like Remedy's one of the, it's not big, but they're very well known.
Yeah, I really don't think of them. European. I just had no clue.
Yeah,
I don't really like
Remedy. I
Remedy.
mean, you thought of Lion's Head before you thought of Remedy.
I know. They're a famous British developer, super British, right?
Very British, but they're also not around anymore.
I know they're not around, and I dropped them as soon as we found out the years. But yeah, good job, David. We nailed it.
Good job.
We got it. That's all.
We missed that nail a few times, but we got it.
You eventually got it.
We hit our thumbs. We cursed a little bit.
Yeah, I was trying to. That's why I asked the backup with the clarifying question of, did you mean present day or that year? Because technically, I think Alan Wake 2 takes place in like 2010 in the game. Like it doesn't take place in like current. It's like a decade or so before now or something like that. I think.
Is it
right? I thought
that's close.
I think it's current, isn't it?
Let's see here.
I think it's current.
Well, I mean, it matches. Let's see here. Alan Wake. Oh no, yeah, that's Alan Wake 2. My bad.
That's what it is.
Yeah, I'm confused. I mean, that's Alan Wake, like the original one, and we're doing Alan Wake 2. I meant the original one. The story for it's 2010.
Got it.
Yes, and Alan Wake 2 connects directly to Control.
Yeah, there's the sequel, David.
Yeah.
Now I definitely have to play
also, it. Isn't Alan Wake in Control DLC? Like, isn't he in it? Yeah.
Yeah, I think you guys were talking about that last time.
Yeah. Well, we've reached towards the end of the podcast, which means we're at final thoughts, where we can make a final thought about anything that's related or unrelated to the podcast episode. So, who would like to give their final thought first?
My final thought is I want to breathe again. Like, I'm so tired of having a stuffy nose. Like, I couldn't sleep last night. I fell asleep with my son because I put him to bed or whatever. And that was at like right after we tried to record but couldn't. So that was like 9 o'clock. Boom, I passed out, woke up at midnight, could have fall back asleep. So I was up since midnight until about 6:30. I was like, hey, I need a nap because I am exhausted. But I couldn't sleep because it just hurt to breathe. It was just like spicy air. Like the top of my mouth hurts from being so congested. I hate being sick. I just want to breathe normal again. I want to take a deep breath and enjoy it.
I'm sorry, man.
It's my final thought.
That sucks.
Agreed.
I can go next. My final thought is I'm going to give you guys an update. I did the One Piece sealed battle tournament at my local game shop.
Yeah, you went? Yeah, how'd it go?
Yeah, it was fun. It was a lot of fun. I had a good time. I felt a little bit overwhelmed, but everyone there was super nice. I ended up going 1-2. I beat my brother in a last desperate match, and I enjoyed myself so much. I actually went the very next week to a different board game shop, and they had the first anniversary tournament where they had the newest set releasing. So got to play in that. I went 1-3. I beat a small child, but a win is a win.
Yeah.
And
do you get the concept of the game well?
Yeah. Now I do.
Yeah. All right, cool.
I like it. It's a fun game. I bought a booster box, which David, you know all about booster boxes, right?
Yeah.
I never bought a booster box. Like I was a big Yu-Gi-Oh guy, but I only bought singles back in the day because I was a kid. I didn't know about that, so it was super fun opening up a booster box. It was very addicting. They're like
so addicting. It's so addicting.
It's sold out everywhere. So like I don't have an opportunity to buy another one, but if I did, I would in a heartbeat. And I had some good pull. Like I pulled a $110 card. I pulled a.
What is with you pulling these expensive cards? Because you pulled that Pikachu not too long ago.
Yeah, the $200 one that I sold.
You know how many boxes of Pokemon I bought recently, and the most expensive card I have is $30.
I don't know. Yeah, I got a little bit of luck. I pulled an alternate art. That's like their different arts of like a leader that I pulled. I pulled a $50 card, which was awesome. The day before it came out, I went to a board game shop and I bought a double pack, and I pulled an alternate art in there that was worth 70. So like I'm kind of all in. I don't know. Hopefully my wife doesn't listen. She already knows. I'm kind of all in. I've been buying packs when I find them. I'm going to try to build a deck and go to some of the weeklies that they have on like Thursday nights or something.
It's so fun. I recommend
it is. And David, if you ever just want to get back into it a little bit,
if you supply me, maybe I can.
Jeremy,
He's offering the shirt. You don't have to do the. You don't have
to.
Yeah, you don't have to. No, thank you. No, thank you. We don't.
That was for David. That was for David. You want some good cocaine now?
Pinky nail, all right?
I mean, yeah. Well, Jeremy's giving.
He has to grow the pinky nail, and also David is congested. He can't even do it.
Yeah, which
can't even sniff right now.
I didn't realize until a couple years ago.
Yeah,
because I was young. My dad's pinky nail was always the only one that was grown out.
Yeah.
Didn't know why. Until a few years ago, I was like, that made sense.
Yeah.
Oh no.
I mean, well, that's the least of worries.
Look at these.
Dude, that looks so cool.
I mean, look at these. Look at these. They're so nice. This was the alternate. This is a $120 card right here. That's so cool. Yeah.
Okay. There we go. How much is a box?
The booster box that we bought, like I said, it was already pretty much sold out everywhere, so they upcharged a little bit. It was $140. But MSRP is like 100, 110. So
you could trade that card for a whole nother box.
Yeah, if I wanted to. I was gonna try to build a deck around him because he is a leader and he's the alternate art version of the leader. Okay. So we'll see. It's a little expensive, as you already know.
Oh, yep.
Whew. Well, my final thought is I mentioned earlier that I've been doing some PS2 emulation. Mm-hmm. Those 3 games. One game that is not on that list that will be is Guessin. I've mentioned it before. I looked at a trailer recently for it, and it is so freaking cool. You guys got to watch the trailer to Guessin. You got to watch it, or at least watch like the intro to the game. Because it's Guessin is a Japanese strategy game, right? It covers like the war between between I believe it's Toyotomi and Tokugawa, but the way they do the movie in like the presentation, it doesn't exactly feel like a Kurosawa movie, but it feels like a cinematic experience. So I want to download that so I can actually play that game, get the whole experience of it, and yeah, 100% beat it. But before that, I gotta
send us that trailer. Send us that trailer in the chat.
Does it look like Dynasty Warriors?
No,
Samurai-ish?
No, not really.
Am I not?
I'll send it to you. Believe me, you're gonna see it and not be interested in the game at all. But the cinematics and the cinema experience of it is really cool.
Gotcha.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah. That leads us to the end of level 90 of the Thoughts and Players podcast. If you like what you heard, subscribe to the podcast on your preferred podcast service. We are everywhere. You can also like and follow the podcast on the socials. We are on Facebook. We are on Twitter at ThoughtsPlayer2. We are on Instagram at thoughts.players. We are on TikTok at ThoughtsPlayers. And of course, we are on YouTube at ThoughtsPlayers, where we upload video versions of the podcast. Also, if you want to support podcasts, there's a couple of ways you can do that. One is merch. Okay. Got this over here. I wish I had my bottle on me. I showed David my brand new water bottle that I got, and
That's pretty cool.
Has the What Up sticker on it, and it has the black eye woman on it. I'll just post a pic to our socials so you guys can see. But make sure you check it out there. You can also support us on Patreon. We have a $2, $5, $7 tier. 3 different tiers at $2, at $5, and at $7 that all have little bits, exclusive content, reviews, different things like that. There's some reviews underway. I can't tell you what they are, but we've got some coming there that'll be some exclusive content, as well as some other nice little bits of content there to check out. But as it for me, fellas, is there anything else you would like to add?
Peace.
Yeah, I just want to point out I haven't said anything as controversial as that since then. I've been on a clean slate the entire time. So
Yep.
goody for me.
Nothing you
thanks for a new
said
one.
today is close to that.
Yeah. Thanks for a new one. And thank you for tuning in, and we will catch you on the next level.